Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. It's the Valentine Day special edition, and we've got OjyOkpe, the chief of Umukwata.
I love
the
that
Valentine
title.
of Umukwata.
The Valentine of Umukwata.
Oh, yeah.
You know, okay, should I expose your secret? You know I can.
Yes.
Should I do?
Yes. Expose
You
it.
don't find has two Valentine days. Are you a real African man or what?
Good.
What's
Two
the
Valentine
idea?
days.
Two.
So there are these two people
Yes.
I love so much. A man and a woman. They've been married for 53 years.
No, we don't want to hear that. That's not the story.
On Valentine's Day, I like to take them out to celebrate their love.
Okay.
Actually, they met on Valentine's Day.
All right.
Over 53 years ago.
That's so
Are you not
sweet.
the third person in that relationship? I don't know.
So you need to bring a fourth person.
I'm the third person in that relationship. So you know what I do when we go out on
Okay.
Valentine's Day? Just to celebrate what they share, because I know that's kind of what I share. I want to share.
You know what?
I want to be taking my woman out for Valentine's Day after 54 years of
Very
marriage.
beautiful,
That's what.
very
so
beautiful.
for me,
Rufai.
it's prophetic.
Beautiful.
So they're my dates for the night.
Well
Yeah.
done. You know, and that's how we're going to start off today's show,
Yeah.
and really to discuss what Valentine really means. And I'd like for you guys to also share what Valentine means to you. Good morning, Ayo. How are you this morning? You know, I'm not too excited. You didn't wear red today. You didn't follow the code. Good morning, Bimbi, our favorite Niger wife.
I'm in the spirit.
You know you're always
Because you know
on the...
some people can tell you maybe they forgot.
Ayo, you're
So
going to be
you-
surcharged.
But you know, I always wear the color of the
You
day.
do.
So,
What happened today? You forgot it was Valentine. Don't worry, bring you back up to the
Valentine's Day.
You can't. Okay, there's too much love for you. Yeah, absolutely. Well, good morning to you viewers, and happy Valentine's Day. As the world marks Valentine's Day today, February 14th, a Nigerian pastor has called for its ban, describing it as an immoral celebration. The pastor, Bishop Charles Ighele of the Holy Spirit Mission Church, told the news agency of Nigeria on Wednesday that Valentine's Day has been distorted from its original purpose of humanitarian aid and helping the needy. Well, he described the emphasis on romantic relationships during Valentine's Day as a deception from the devil, aimed at imposing a global culture of immorality. Well, according to him, many young people and even married individuals have embraced a distorted view of love, ignoring the agape love emphasized in the Bible. I want to start with our pastors, and I just want to quickly, let me just quote the pastor. The pastor said, and I quote, "The day is associated with a romantic demon known as Cupid, one of the rulers of the darkness of this world, as found in Ephesians 6:11-12. Cupid is the Roman name for the Greek god of love, Eros, from which the word erotic originates." Ayo, let me start with you. You are reading. Are you okay? Do you want to check the Ephesians? Go ahead. Check it. Our favorite Niger wife. You know I'm starting with both of you. So you can just, you know.
I mean, I'm going to leave you to read the scripture. Are you ready? Or should I
No,
go
she will
ahead?
find it. Yes, that's what it says.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it has nothing. Okay.
It has nothing to do. Can you read it out?
All right,
What is it?
6:11-12 says, "Put on the whole armor of God, that you may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil.
Yeah.
For we do not wrestle against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of darkness of this age, against spiritual hosts of wickedness in the heavenly places." Okay, so I think I get what he's saying. Maybe all
Okay.
these spiritual people. Okay.
Okay. So,
Okay.
do you want to start? Or
Okay, let
go
me
ahead?
start. I mean, one of the things I would say, with all due respect, I love pastors and
Yes.
the real ones. I say that.
the real ones.
Yeah, now.
Yes, now
I
the
always
real
say
one.
that. No, I didn't say. I said I love pastors. Fine, I didn't say that. What I just want to say is that it's not that deep now. No, I don't. It's not that deep. This, I understand his sentiments, and I know
Yes.
people. There are different connotations when you talk about love, but I see Valentine's Day in the purest sense of it, which is love. I
Yes.
think it's an opportunity for us to really define and teach, especially the younger ones, what real love means. The earlier conversation we're having was around, how love has become transactional. This is a time for you to actually teach, especially for parents. So my favorite memory, you started with that question of Valentine's Day, was actually from my mom when we were younger.
Yeah.
So on Valentine's Day, she would buy gifts and take us out to dinner. And I thought that was such a beautiful, true expression of love. And so
yeah.
that's why, don't blame me for loving love so much. I learned it from a queen.
Yes.
And then when we grew
Yes.
older, so when we grew older, we understood what healthy love should be
Absolutely.
like. And the things aren't so expensive. She would even encourage us to give gifts to our friends in class. So this is what I would hope that pastors can take the narrative and actually push it. Jesus himself, God, the Bible says in 1 John 4:8, is love. The definition, the essence of God is love. So let's take it back and not allow the world, as they say, to define what love should be. Let's take it back and really teach people the true essence of love.
Call for the ban of Valentine's. Let me start with you and then you go.
For me, why? Why you want to buy Valentine? Don't do it. Truth is, I mean, like I said very aptly, see, I know there are people that use it, you know, as an opportunity. And it goes back to what we're saying, the cultural norm. Take, for instance, a woman had made too much demands. She finally comes over after he meets all the Valentine demands. He starts to say, what's the thing in return for me? Sex. It becomes transactional. That's always the case. But as you talked about, if we have true healthy love between a man and a woman, it's not going to be about the size of the gift, but it's going to be about the heart of the gift. And that's what we should always look at. And really, the person who celebrates Valentine itself was a martyr because he stood for something, fighting for something.
Absolutely.
And the truth has to be said, the true essence of Valentine is love, sharing with people and orphanage homes and all of that. Not that kind of love that you give the man billions after he now come to the house and I say, you too, you give me something in return. That's transactional love. And anybody that gives you something because they want sex, it's transactional love.
Right.
The Bible also says in John 3:16 that for God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son.
Right.
And whosoever believe in him shall not perish but have eternal life. Because of love, that's why God gave us Jesus.
All right.
For the redemption of our soul. And that's the essence of the season. Love. The greatest thing in life is love. So I do not believe people saying, I get his point, don't get me wrong.
Right.
About how people change into
like
that
more,
everything. But it should be a healthy form of love.
Right.
Telling people that I love you. And you know, happy Valentine's Day, Oji. I love you. Goodbye, I love you.
Rufai is never
I love
ashamed
you
to
so
say he
much.
loves you.
And I love you.
I know.
And it has
We
to
love
be
you
said.
too, Rufai. Rufai on fire. I've been by our favorite Nigerian wife. I know earlier you sent me a beautiful video of a federal lawmaker who surprised, the husband of a federal lawmaker who surprised, his wife.
No, his wife
his wife surprised him with all the flowers. But he came with flowers to the office as well.
So what the wife did is she arranged for, when Oga arrived at the office, various people, members of staff, were giving him flowers, until he finally sat down at his desk. But very quickly, I think, I worry, like I say, I always say I haven't studied theology. I always put it out there. But I do worry about centering the gospel around fear-mongering and always creating a spirit of fear around things. When the alternate, okay, there we are. There's the lawmaker. But when I think it's more effective to often just preach the positive, the benefits of something, the positive side of something. In this case, yes, it's important for us to highlight the fact that, there's immorality happening. But I think this message could have hit home in a lot more effective way.
Absolutely.
Maybe just say that, like Ayo said, let's celebrate love where we are. The kids have gone to school today. They've decorated the school with all the Valentines, everything, paraphernalia and so forth. So let's just preach love in the context we want to see it, as opposed to highlighting the downside and the pitfalls of
I love that. Absolutely beautiful. And we'll continue to talk about, these love stories and all of that in the course of the day. Absolutely. Again, happy Valentine's Day to all of our viewers one more time. No banning of Valentine's Day. We do not agree with that. Well, in the meantime, just few days after legendary Afrobeats singer Innocent 2Face Idibia publicly confirmed his romantic relationship with Edo Lawmaker Natasha Osawaru Igbinedion. A now viral video showed the moment the singer went on bended knees to propose to her. Let's take a look.
Live performance. Not yet, please. Yeah.
All right, there were some scenes there that, you know...
Yes,
we saw...
watching,
what scene was that?
Is it 1,000 naira notes?
It could be dollars. I didn't really see it properly.
Is it dollars or naira?
It could be fake naira too.
You saw blue money. Is it dollars or naira?
All right.
Oh yeah, can we zoom in?
Okay, no problem. No problem. But this is for Rufai is doing
because that's a lawmaker, so that we say it now.
Absolutely. She is a lawmaker. You're absolutely right. But you know, this video has sparked a lot of conversations online, especially given the fact that, you know, only recently he declared his love, and he also talked about the fact that, you know, he's fine with Annie Idibia. He's still going through a divorce, and now we are seeing an engagement. I mean, I don't know how right that is. Well, in a new twist of events, 2Face's mother, Rose Idibia, has asked the Edo Lawmaker, Natasha Osawaru, to allow her son to go through the proper process of divorce before moving ahead with their marriage, alleging in this video, now making the rounds on social media, that her son is under a spell. Let's take a look.
Good evening, Nigerians. My name is Mrs. Rose Idibia. This message is for Miss Natasha Osawaru of Edo State. I'm calling on all mothers in Nigeria to help me beg her to release or to free my son. My son is going through a divorce process, and he's clearly not in his right senses now. I know my son. This is not him. Please, Natasha, the bead you put on his hand and on his neck, remove them and free him.
All right, this is the video of the moment. At this time, we are seeing that there's some division in the family. I mean, Rosie Idibia in her rightful place, asking mothers, even like me, to intervene, intervene in the conversation. I don't think that it is right to propose to another woman if you have not gone through a divorce. I mean, you can declare your love, you can say what you want to do, but I mean, we saw Annie Idibia.
Is that a proposal?
It is a proposal now. It's everywhere. Can you not see it could be an act.
That's another thing.
Could it be an act? I doubt that it could be.
That's why we are not sure. You know,
But his mom has come out to say that she...
I mean, did you hear that video just now?
Okay, based on his mom, assertion of a proposal, but I don't know.
Your thoughts?
I think that the person we really need to appeal to here is the mom, who is, I believe, the elder of the family.
Yes.
That these issues don't need a ring light. Yeah. It's not... Marriage is a tough and complicated journey. Yeah. There's no perfect marriage on earth. Absolutely. Some people survive it, some people don't. And these issues, especially where there are children involved, are better settled in a closed environment with all parties concerned, with the elders and so forth, so they can, cut a way forward. And in doing so, yes, even if it has ended and he needs to declare his love for whoever and get married and so forth, let's just go through the process and let's settle things internally before we make all these bold public declarations. Because I know people downplay the fact that his children are watching, but I say the children are watching. I've seen some videos from I think it's Olivia on TikTok, and it was Isabel, right, on TikTok. And yes, she was talking about, it doesn't bother her and so forth. But why should she have to now come and start defending her parents on social media? It's very unfair. We haven't even started talking about the bullying those children might be subjected to in school, because people are on social media and they're going to take sides. They're going to come to school and start saying, your mommy did this, your daddy did this. And so I also blame Annie and 2Face themselves for going on that reality show where they now decided to open their marriage to now we are all online in-laws, we all have an opinion, and too many cooks spoil the broth.
You know, the last time we spoke about this subject, I know you said, Vimbai, we have to wait to hear from Annie at this point, because this is really all it boils down to. We've heard from 2Face saying that they are both fine and nobody should cry over, their relationship because they are fine. But we haven't heard from Annie. We have heard from the mother. And, they are public figures. We'll follow up on the story. I just wish them, success in whatever they are doing. It's really tough to be in the public light with this sort of, information. Well, we'll take another story now. The National Security Advisor, Ribadu, was trending on Thursday after a video surfaced online showing him expressing his displeasure at the Canadian High Commission for denying Christopher Musa, the Chief of Defense Staff, and other Army chiefs visas. Ribadu, while speaking during the maiden annual lecture of the National Association of the Institute for Security Studies, described the visa snub as disrespectful, saying that the Canadian government can go to hell. Let's take a look at that video before we take some reaction.
If this country is going to work, we have to do a lot of work. Thank you for the courage to say that Canada denied you. They can go to hell. Even though it's painful, it's disrespectful, but we are people. We are strong, and I agree with you. We have to fix our country. We have to do it well. Yes, this disrespect is too much. So, yet is another reason why we work hard to make Nigeria work.
All right, let me take this reaction from Oguntoye, who wrote, "The NSA made a valid point by speaking to the audience on the need to develop Nigeria, thereby wouldn't make Nigerians to see the need for relocating to other countries, Canada included. I wholly support his reasoning because oftentimes we travel because the nation isn't truly developed. But if we can continue in this developmental stride with Tinubu's positive policies, Nigerians wouldn't see the need to visit any nation." I mean, traveling is fundamental, right? We can always travel and visit other countries at this point. Yeah. But I mean, Nuhu Ribadu's point, I thought was quite apt because he did make a lot of solid points in terms of developing our nation. I really like that point personally. Rufai, I know you want to say something.
We will travel. People will travel. The question is, when did Nigeria get to the point that it's been disrespected? I think that's the big question we should ask. Because when you look at it, we should go back to what has transpired over the years. But on the second thought, he said one part of his contingent was given their visa. They are already in Canada. That's what the chief of the CDS did say. It's the second part that was not given. So I think we should investigate and get from the Canadian embassy, why did that happen? Mm-hmm. Secondly, Nuhu Ribadu can make a case for development, which is fine, but saying countries should go to hell, question is that the best thing for a national security advisor to say when matters like this happen? It's not even his purview any longer. It should be the Minister of Foreign Affairs that will take it on to the Canadian authorities. All they needed to do was to report. So it goes back to what really happens in this government and reporting channel. If that had happened, could they have reported to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Mr. Tuga says, okay, Canadian High Commissioner, please come. Let's engage in this. Is this the way best possible for a free-for-all and say, go to hell and all of that? Is that the best possible? The other residual part of making a case for development, yes, we can make a case for development, that if we have done well, they will not treat us well. Yes, but if we have done well as a nation, Nigerians will still need to travel to other countries. We are not an island. What were they going for in the first place? Invictus Games. Prince Harry, he came here and we're returning the favor, also attending. And you know the military just even finished a very successful African military games, which I have the tracksuit thanks to the CDS. It's a good one. I've won it a couple of times. Very good one. I must have to put a case in. But it also goes back to relationships. I do not believe the best approach and the best representation by the Nigerian government is to tell another country to go to hell. When we are not at the stage of escalation of things yet.
I mean,
my thoughts.
So. Absolutely. Talking about fixing our country, Ayo, we're getting reports from Ondo State about a violent clash that erupted between armed operatives of the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps and mobile police officers at a mining site in Akure, which has resulted in the abduction of 2 police personnel, well, according to a police signal inspector, Egbekele Alaba, who is reported to be the leader of the Mopol 17 Akure unit. The armed NSCDC operative arrived in a convoy consisting of a gun truck and 3 Hilux vehicles. We're just talking about this story yesterday about these Air Force officials. By the way, the Air Force has released a statement saying that they've waded into the matter, they've looked into it, and they are going to resolve the situation, which, you know, I mean, I don't even know what that statement means. It's neither here nor there. But we are seeing again security operatives engaging in fisticuffs, fights, and things that are not supposed to be what security operatives are supposed to be doing. Why abduct two police officers? I thought I should highlight this story for a response from the police unit. Meanwhile, in Benue State, a Nigerian soldier and a police officer were caught on camera fighting in broad daylight. In the video, the police officer threatened to shoot the soldier. Let's take a look.
Wait. You get mad, I beat my brother. Nigerian army. No, not commit to. Do anything again. You do anything, you. You came out the shoot gun for here. You came out the shoot gun. You came out the shoot gun. You go see what they happen to you. Go down. See. Don't worry. Wait. Go down. The craze. Go down. See. You know for me, no be man. I dey talk now with this thing. Okay. You know say who the other guy. Go down. You know who the other guy. See. Hey, go down. Oh boy. Shoot her now. My brother. No, me I cannot run. I don't go run. Which kind of with this one?
My heart was in my mouth watching that video throughout because the man had a gun. Oh, yes. Easily could have killed that soldier, that movement. I mean, what's going on here?
We had that. What happened in Delta State?
Yes.
The policemen were actually seriously injured.
Yes.
So they actually use sometimes their weapons in cases like this. Jesus. What has happened successfully, as we have highlighted, is just a symptom of deep rot and indiscipline in what ought to be the most disciplined agency, one of the most disciplined agencies in Nigeria, where we have such disunity now manifesting in such a way that on the streets of Nigeria, we have our officials, our security agents fighting again with themselves. We have a serious problem. You can then imagine what happens when they have to do a joint operation. Who goes first, and then the disagreement. It speaks to deeper issues within our society. Number one, the fact that there's so much audacity and they do it so brazenly, it means that a lot of them have been doing it and been getting away. But when you read statements like what's come out, you understand why. Nothing hard standing, nothing like we're going to bring that this is an embarrassment, we would never take this. That's what we expect to hear. Then number two, if they are behaving like this amongst themselves, imagine how they behave to civilians. If they don't have the culture of discipline in our security outfits, imagine what happens. And that's why when you hear incidents, altercations between the military or armed forces or uniformed men and civilians, what would civilians do in this instance? And then they'll take the sides of the military agents. I think that the police also, final point, have been very disrespected in Nigeria. Everybody disrespects the police, and this is me standing and making a case for them. Whether it's soldiers, whether it's the NSCDC, they're just like the lower rung, and it should not be so. No. Let's restore dignity to the the office of the. Look at that. Yes. They just write them. If it's not soldiers, it's NSCDC. So I'm hoping that will also protect the interests of our policemen. Right. It's disgraceful.
I want to put a quick historical footnote. Right. Good point you made, Ayo. It's not today it started. How did they form SARS?
Well, before you go, let me take this one. In another incident that occurred in Ogun State, where police officers in Oru dragged a woman out of her husband's car at a checkpoint in Intermary Junction, claiming he was driving a stolen vehicle. The woman collapsed during the altercation. Let's take a look. Hey,
everybody, they don't keep my wife. They don't keep my wife for here. They don't hear word. Oru police, they don't keep my wife. Oru police. What's up by the town? I say she got to you. No worry, study vehicle. No worry.
I mean, look at this. This is happening with the police.
This is another very sad one. Really? Like I was saying, how did SARS get formed? In 1992, an army colonel, Dindam, was killed by a police officer at a checkpoint. That led to a big interagency rivalry. Free-for-all between police and military. They were fighting each other. A lot of police officers got killed in that incident. They had to form SARS because of that, to be able to stop the spate of banditry and armed robbery and the likes that happened as a result of that incident. What point am I trying to make is, Then one of the problems that was cited was because we're in a military regime. So the military gave more credence to the military officers. Yes. Until today, despite the return to the civilian regime, the military is still seen that way. Yeah. So they are seen like they have an upper hand over the police. Until we are able to harness all of these governmental, agents, security forces and agencies together, we are not going to get anywhere out of it. This interagency rivalry, as it happened in 1992, is still happening today.
Yes.
Some people think the military is higher than police, but we must get to the point that it is the police that handle civil matters. Yes. But how are you going to get it done when in this society the military does everything? Military is called for policing activities. They are called to monitor elections. They are called for all sorts. Yeah. What are we going to do? There needs to be a cultural change. Absolutely. We need to work at it. And steep penalties need to be meted out. Yeah. Because when you see a military officer fight or beat a police officer in public, what happens when he goes back to his barrack? There's a camaraderie. Yes, the former military, other military officers support him.
This is terrible.
And this must stop.
Yeah, this is terrible. But I played that video, very important video in Ogun State, where a pregnant woman collapsed because of a checkpoint. I wanted to highlight that for the Ogun State government and also for the Ogun State Police Command to respond to this. We haven't followed up on the story. Really quickly on that subject. And then
you remember it wasn't last Christmas, prior to the Christmas, maybe 2 Christmases ago, when the pregnant lady, the lawyer, was killed at Ajah, just here in Lagos. Yeah. So, the incident, if an incident happens once and it makes headlines, people like to almost try to package it as an anomaly. Yeah. But now we're seeing this recurrence of videos coming out shows you that what is not documented is probably 1,000 times more than what actually gets documented. Because how many people are even brave enough to bring out their smartphones and start recording? How many people even have the smartphone? Data is now expensive even. But my question is, just like Rufai is saying, my issue is that there's a deep foundational issue. And I was just looking at the mottos of the different police forces. So here we have police is your friend. Then I looked at the American one, which is to protect and to serve. And just as Rufai is saying, there needs to be a sense of reorientation. So this reorientation is around a rebranding, but not just a rebranding of the messaging, but a rebranding of the culture, the ethics. It has to be. Because there's now even a fight because they've extended IGP's tenure. So other police officers are now saying their tenures also need to be extended. There's just a lot of indiscipline, and there needs some sanitation to be restored in the force.
Well, in Abia State, the National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control has uncovered and sealed a warehouse stocked with expired foreign drugs and supplements in Aba. Let's take a look.
This is the story building, 2-story building. Everything is stacked to the point that you won't have any breathing space anywhere. This is what we have everywhere. Unregistered products, expired products. See what they are using to change the date mark. See. All these 8 places I counted were filled up with materials like this. But they don't get abandoned like this.
Again, this is happening in Aba. We've seen it time and time again. Last week, they confiscated a lot of drugs. And this is, kudos to NAFDAC, really. This was so hard to see. I wanted to highlight this so that our viewers take note and see that some of these drugs that we buy here in Nigeria may be expired products. I hope that they have been able to pull some of those out in circulation. But when we talk about storage of these pharmaceutical drugs in Kaduna State, the state's governor, Uba Sani, has inaugurated a multi-million naira pharmaceutical warehouse as part of efforts to improve healthcare in the state. While speaking during the inauguration ceremony, the governor expressed his administration's commitment to enhancing excellence and innovation in healthcare.
We have a very robust healthcare system in Nigeria under the able leadership of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. We've started working extremely well, particularly focusing and investing in primary healthcare in the whole states. And of course, you can see the synergy between the Federal Ministry of Health and subnationals, which have really given birth to a lot of effort we are putting, ensuring that we ensure that our people have access to healthcare both at the primary level as well as secondary and tertiary.
Kudos to Ubasani. I know that he said that their healthcare initiatives have earned them about 10 awards, including the prestigious award for excellence from the International Supply Chain Education Alliance. I mean, we are always seeing good things coming from Kaduna State these days. I mean, this is what we need to see. This is what we need to, encourage our state governors to continue to do. I mean, a quick point on the NAFDAC story before we end what's trending.
This is why earlier this week, Oji, there was the debate around whether or not the death penalty should be introduced for people who peddle fake drugs or expired drugs.
Expired medication. Somebody told me to say drugs is
medication.
Yes, absolutely.
So you can understand the wickedness of even the government that owns our warehouse, because we keep saying, oh, government, but the people themselves are also wicked. Man's inhumanity to man. So kudos to NAFDAC for doing this, and I'm hoping that more heads will roll and that it'll be persecuted.
Absolutely. Well, kudos to the governor of Kaduna State, kudos to NAFDAC, and we need to make sure that our states are safe with medication. Well, before we end what's trending today, in the spirit of Valentine, here is I Swear by All For One. Let's take a look.
I swear by the moon and the stars in the skies, and I swear like the shadow that's by your side. I see the questions in your eyes. I know what's weighing on your mind.
All right. I mean, that was I Swear. I wish we had a little more seconds to play that music. Is beautiful. I'm such a romantic girl. I'm wishing you all happy Valentine. I can hear our producer singing in the background. I'd love to thank you all for your great analysis, as always, on What's Trending. I hope you guys have a great, great Valentine. Thank you very much. Well, that's all I have for you guys on What's Trending today. I'll see you all tomorrow, and happy Valentine's Day.
For better or worse, till death do us part, I love you.